How do you take your photos? Do you just point your camera and click whenever you want? Or do you apply some photography techniques that could make your photographs look much better? Hi, we are a group of 6 members, and today we're diving into something that's close to all of us: photography. In this video, we'll be talking about photography compositions and we'll state why we should apply them to our photographs. Photography is about the art or practice of taking photographs, but there's so much more to that. It's not just about simply capturing an image, it's about creating a balance in your photo, drawing attention to your subject, and telling a story through a single frame. I know that many of us have tried to be a photographer for once, whether it was with a smartphone or a camera. The great thing about photography is there's no specific technique or right way on how to take pictures correctly, so anybody can do it in their own ways. However, there are various photography compositions that we can follow to make our photographs look much better. Photography composition is how we arrange things in the frame to tell a story, create a mood, or grab attention. It is the arrangement of visual elements in a frame to create a more appealing and creative image. Keep watching because we will teach you some easy-to-follow photography composition tips that can help you on your photography journey.
Waiting for time, will I be better off? Play a lovely melody or nothing at all. Seeking my pride when there else nothing to hide. Let me just waking up together with you.
Rule of thirds is one of the most known photography composition. With the use of grid lines or composition lines, it creates a division of equal parts that makes the photo balanced and eye-catching. In rule of thirds, the subject in the image is not centered but is in one of the focal points of the lines, so it is either at one side, at top, or bottom. For example, in this photo, the lamppost is not centered. The subject is placed in the right side, which leaves the other 2/3 open. In balancing elements, harmony is important. The subjects are in symmetry and space is balanced. Rule of thirds can be also used in balancing elements as it gives equal portions of the image. The main subject should be placed along the intersecting points to create a sense of balance. But in shooting a symmetrical object like building, it should be centered to maximize the sense of balance in the image. One example of balancing elements is this photo. The trees are both in the intersecting points while there is a moon in the middle. This creates a balanced photo.
Leading lines. Lines guide the viewer's eyes through a photo, adding depth and focus. For example, the shelves in the photo use horizontal and vertical lines to lead attention across the decorative items, making the composition dynamic. Now, why is it important? Leading lines direct focus, enhance storytelling, and make the photos more engaging. In symmetry and patterns like the heart shapes in the photo create balance and visual appeal. Breaking a pattern such as adding a unique element adds contrast and interest. Why is it important? They create harmony, attract attention, and make images more structured and engaging.
Next is viewpoint. Viewpoint in photography is the position of the camera when capturing a scene. It includes the angle, distance, and direction of the camera in relation to the angle itself. As you can see, viewpoint can change the mood and the feel of the photo, as it can make the subject appear larger or smaller, more dominant or less significant. It's a great way to take photos as highlights, or it highlights or emphasizes the shapes, angle, and scale of the subject itself. Next is background. Background in photography is the furthest part of the scene from the camera. It can be surface or material placed behind the subject itself, and the background is an important part of composition that can help set the mood, add depth, and tell a story. Using background in photography is a great strategy to use if you want to tell a story, add depth, and set the scene or mood that you're going to use.
Depth in photography, it refers to the illusion of three-dimensionality within a two-dimensional image. It's about how the photograph makes the viewer perceive the distance between objects in the scene. It helps to convey a sense of space and atmosphere, and it also can be used to emphasize the relationship between elements in the scene. Like for this example, the subject in the image primarily focus on the Jollibee card in the blur background to convey the depth. It helps convey a sense of space and atmosphere, making the viewer feel more immersed in the scene. And here are some more other pictures using depth in photography. Framing. Framing is the technique of using elements within the scene to naturally create a frame around the subject. Use doorways, windows, branches, or other elements to frame your subject. Look how framing works in photography. It became more focused and visually appealing with the use of framing. Like for this example, the image employs a clever framing technique by utilizing a pair of glasses to frame the scene. The lenses of the glasses act as natural frames, isolating and drawing attention to the sunset view beyond.
Cropping in photography refers to cutting or trimming out certain parts of an image to improve composition, remove distractions, or emphasize the subject. Cropping is important because it allows photographers to enhance focus and create visually balanced images, ensuring the subject stands out. For cropping, use the rule of thirds to guide your edits and remove elements that don't contribute to the story of your photo. For example, cropping out unnecessary background clutter can make a portrait more impactful, while cropping refines a photo to make it more visually appealing. Experimentation is about breaking rules and exploring the possibilities to create something new and imaginative. Experimentation, on the other hand, is the creative process of trying new techniques, angles, and concepts to produce unique and dynamic photographs. Experimentation is equally vital as it pushes creative boundaries, helping photographers discover new styles, techniques, and perspectives that can elevate their work. In experimentation, playing with lighting, unconventional angles, and setting like long exposure or double exposure. For instance, shooting through a glass or a ground level can add interesting twists to your photo.